Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. It's so good to be with you tonight. I hope you're all cuddled up and snuggled in, and it was a beautiful day out today. Well, maybe. It was a beautiful day out the day we taped this, but maybe Saturday, I don't know. But anyway, we've had a lot of harps on the show, haven't we? We had Sean O'Reilly, Kayla Farnham plays harp. We had Christina Torin. We've had Ian Maxon. So many. But anyway, I digress. So a few months ago, back around Halloween, the week before actually, I went down to one of my favorite stores in New London. It's called the Golden Owl, and it's on Golden Street. It's a great little store. If you haven't been there, check it out. I guarantee if you walk in there, you'll find something that intrigues you. Guarantee. I would stake my reputation on it. Okay? That being said, they were having open mic that night, run by a young person named Goose. So I went, okay? There was a band called This Chaos gonna play. Anyway, I get there and there's a bunch of people hanging out outside. What I didn't know is, because it was the week before Halloween, they were in costume. I just thought they were being New Londoners and dressed normal. So I'm talking to them a little bit, and this guy, kind of a handsome looking dude, says, I'm a big fan. And so narcissistic, self-centered, all about me goes to my head, and I'm like, well, that's really nice of you. We get inside, and I find out that he's in costume, and he's got the blades of a fan on, and he's a big fan. I got this big real fast. I turned into a little dot because my all blown up, all about me brain said, oh my God, he doesn't even know who I am, much less be a fan of mine. Anyway, we got to talking. I've had him on the radio show. He's brilliant. He likes to call what he does rap. I don't. I call it high-level poetry, free form, brilliant. He also plays the harp and sings, and he's written some poetry about animals that he changes the names to because he's smart like that. Anyway, he's in the house tonight, and I'm so excited to bring him to you. He's going to show you every level of talent that you haven't seen, because that's what he's I'm going to stop now. His name is Andrew Guthrie. Please welcome into your heart and into your home, Andrew.
I'm a big fan. Hi, I'm Andrew, but I go by Tweak Unique. I love spreading smiles from cheek to cheek. Daylight moves us as morning passes. We all get up off to our tasks with a new tomorrow dividing our time. Imagine, would you? Less sorrow this time? That's my dream and waking habit. Take the steps and then we'll have it. Place your bets. Step with science. Develop plans with confidence. The way we walk is by falling just a little. If you want to fly high, dive into big riddles. Practice morally, communally in mind. Creativity unravels unrest. It unwinds. Hello, I'm Andrew. I go by Tweak Unique. I'm going to go through a show I'm doing in November. I'm not going to go through all of it because I have a limited time, so eventually I will be stopped. So I'm going to start with some pieces at the end. This is a song I'm currently learning called Beautiful Dreamer. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamer, queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Okay. Now, because God has specifically asked I recite for you Katawa, the shirt I'm currently wearing is a half cat, half owl, and this story is called Katawa. Once, upon a flowing rhyme, 'twas a universe double lined with mine, where portmanteau connections swell. Yesternight begins this tale. Katawa spied upon Helvin. He studied the lightning fire bolt balls of god devil Zeus Satan, surmising that eating another half of Valhalla Olympus enables reproduction. The moon's sun was rise, setting over below land waves, partially illuminated by star clouds, thus creating a eclipse. Meow-hoo! Meow-hoo! Goofmouse scuffles up a flurry. Guppy Finch swallowed in a blurry, breakneck whirlwind, swallow-hole spin. Sacra zebra elephant, whinny chortles. Bearman cares less atop his cancesticles. Boy cub's pube fur grew blurred down. He squeezed grabs rhododendron up ramping trees luminosity through sow wow 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 wound. Commoding pig echo in sout gerbil raff. Disturbing bat beetle and beetle bat. Flipping a bit in introspection. Science in art. Darwinist intervention. Atmosphere ripping out cries, belt tirading, ekhanger, ekhanger, ekhanger. Sea view, K2verist, peek the titanic chamber. With clam-hammering paws, grab snatching Miss Bish. Snog waits patient, 'cause these good animals pissed. Foxrilla wonders what it would be like to die, pondering stoned Latin tablature texts suggesting diversity made possible through sex. Peanut butter fish finishes waving a furious fin as Pegasaurus Rex attempts for holding her arms in. Push them together, get in. While Raccoon wonders up at a starfish reminiscence. A pixelated depiction and detailed description. Consider remembering Wolfhand's cannibalistic conniptions. Scrabbit jump jacks like a self-taught bad habit. Drop trips, radish nuts, tumbling, grabs, snaps it. Oh. Frustration rotations, stumble, stagger, swagger. His bushy tail swings in an opposite pattern of grandfather death's mini stopcock. Point blank, cuckoo tweet, chimportal unlocks. Supernova aurora borealis. Rainbow fountain feeding black holes. Shadow inversion alleviates kinomagnetic push holes. Small flakes, anti-gravitate, click popping new words in. Semitonal clock softening, formula new worlds in. Crickening pretensive, pretend there. Under where? We last sought but seldom share a mating a meeting. Virally classed inner mirror seeking. I ate spinal thinking. Hey, I might be thinking. Versions plain clinking, heats fate in darkness. Sparks, pepper dust cloud hues, perceive order and harness the story we're writing. Alive in decisions, thinking, arriving, vocal, vociferous, choices so wondrous. In the den, cute chickpea spits, knowing all too well Wolfhen's bullshit, who dropped Blaze an egg with wolfy ears amid dirt hay tears on her quilt nest, which he jump pounces, overwhelmed in guiltiness, chomping bites till laid low, letting out a soulful cluck howl, cock-a-doo-woo, which chickpea cuts off all too soon. Out through winddoor, sky beach gleamors, scent a merman, mermaid a tater, stand, sit, sit, stand, lick, taste, glass, besmash a rocapulca taken with glass, pounding snail-up shells, base smash. Burrowed indefinitely, broke from a shrubber tree, in jacktail snordash, dip dust vapliberally. Creepy, crawly, cruddy, muddy, slippy, slidey, suction, ploppy, tentacles undulate underneath octopede. Millipus slithers sidelong underneath. The symbiotic pair fly, fall, up, down, walk, tear. Windily, spindly, Millipusian viblegs, puncture perp tentacles, brown oozing, twitch pegs, prolapsum pulsing, unfertilized eggs. Ugh. Snack grill signpost read shows the closed. So Fruit Loop's unusable. Great. White, pink shark flingos movements are so unusual. Swan dog eyes, him sure nervous. Snapping awkward, down up drinking, sniffing suspicious. What's that reflection thinking? Flash night. Katawl lay drops a winged egg. Flap cracking, free falling, float diving, Jalotian bobbing, surface arriving, crack vealing, meow whoos, awoken inside. Blink thinking, birth eyes, enormous, big wide. Kitten owlet stares into space sky. This next one is called The Toilsome Twosome. It is about a Polish princess attempting to combat the plague in 1350. Exactly 33 years after the king's first breath, Kelly and her mother's eyes first met. Suddenly she's rocking Krakow University, composing harp melodies with creativity. Soon, Daddy decreed Poland be quarantined, 'cause Casimir gets what Casimir wants. What a great guy, 'cause of plagues that he stops. An escape hatched from her slumbering dreams for constructing a lofty eagle feather-winged glider that led her off the edge of Wawel's tallest tower, which she vanished silent in flight that moonless midnight hour. She touched down far beyond the suppressing city walls, and by noon she had traveled 60 miles. She snuck quiet and cool, with goods stashed in her cloak, some flint, a dagger, gold, arrows, and a bow. She hunted, she gathered, she foraged, she cooked. The wilderness was hers, everywhere she looked. But she longed for songs, missing melodic rhythms. Isolation conjured in her an inner cynicism. Traveling north, she sought minstrels in the kingdom of Novgorod. No one parties like Barties, those creative, clever lot. The path led her to a strangely serene village, intact and undamaged, lacking any signs of pillage, where no sound echoed off thatch-roof cottage streets except for droning swarms of infinite fleas. Pain and suffering were caught stiff in corpses' poses, holding horrid expressions stuck in rigor mortis. The awful, acrid stench made her cover her face. Overwhelming instinct demanded she escape. Dark, vile ooze seeped black apple-sized boils, leaking creases in deceased adults, boys and girls. Rotting fingers clutched Bibles, rose petals, and posies caked with black vomit dried on their clothing. Walking paths amassed pick-pecking vultures, ripping torn-off flesh off torn-up cadavers. It nauseated her. She social distanced. Why would God's pestilence slay pious innocents who humbly served their Lord with diligence? She left the dead crowd staring into the sun. What can I do about what's been done? Then a gyre falcon dove slam a flying squirrel to the earth. The gasping rodent fumbled an acorn toward her famished child in the dirt. Kelly's arrow pinned the praying bird to a tree, who croaked alongside Mommy momentarily. The defenseless orphan wasn't yet fully grown, and Kelly wasn't going to leave her helpless and alone. She fed the little rascal berries, bugs, veggies, and nuts, and trained her in reconnaissance with special, skillful stunts. Rascal clutched an arrow as Kelly let the fletch go. Oh, twang, zing, zoom, twirl, wind, fling, flow. The airborne rodent spiraled wide, circling glides, surveying the countryside for anyone alive. The toiling twosome spotted survivors wandering out west, who they followed on a path to maybe remedy this bubonic mess. In Novgorod's near empty port city Veliki, monks self-flagellated whip-snapping repeatedly. While their relentless distraction appeased the scant masses, the duo leapt on a sail, then slipped down its mast, hidden in a fog afloat on the Volkhov, gone with the wind in thick, silky fog. The merchant ship transported its furs and fish to Visby, but unknowingly the plague, October 1350. Concealed in a trunk of pelts and hides, the duo departed the dock off the boat's port side. She thieved and disguised in a wolverine fur. No one recognized the missing princess was her. She did not understand the Swedish tongue, but recognized Celtic like it was sung. Three Scots joked at the English's expense, entering a tavern to gamble with pints full of nonsense. She approached their table directly, raising their eyebrows skeptically. Care to deal in a lady? She asked calm and collectedly. Her gold coin blinged the table, which made plenty change. She bought a couple rounds, then started winning games. Peter, the leader, figured she was all right. My brother Blake's on my left, my lad Will's on my right. What brings a Polish girl here at this time of night? The princess relayed the details of her tale, yearning to plant seeds of solution, to bloom in restitution. They looked at Kelly a moment, then huddled up. She's totally cool, right? Aye, aye. Yup. Blake leaned in, explaining what was up. Listen close now, lass, for our news is bad. There exists a man who is as evil as he's mad. Tres, Earl of Ree, practiced necromantic sorcery. He synthesized raw evil, growing fleas gnawing people alone in dark cells, cold, but in hell. He spread the disease that he delivered to the Genoese. 12 infested galleys brought it back to Italy, infecting parts of Messina, surprising Sicily. Hoarding the only cure, he'll ransom humanity, feeding incessant greed with sadistic vanity. We will fight this menace every way we can. May this land make haven to protect our weest kin. Hobbling near the tavern, stumbling outside, an infested man died suddenly mid-stride, cracking on cobblestone, splitting his skull wide. There was no escape from this contagious spell. There was no place for good people to live well. They would have to conquer Trask in his tower over Lee, stealing the coveted cure to heal humanity. Kelly and the Scots executed a covert operation, sinking their Berlin and Chesil Bay to conceal the situation. Rascal scouted the turrets of Southampton Castle's battlements, then signaled something glamorous. They lurked in clandestine, cutting throats, felling watchmen. Disguised in armor of the recently slain, they harnessed 3 steeds in a ballista train. 3 Scots riding Clydesdales and a Polish girl besieged Lee early under cover with a flying squirrel. The tower's tip glowed in dawn's illumination. Poison spikes prevented a wall climb infiltration. The toilsome team fastened a rope to the ballista's side, which they tied on a bolt for Kelly to climb. She bow-launched Rascal to survey the attack. After 5 minutes, Homegirl didn't come back. The bolt they loosed on the spire's west side latched and attached a long, shadowed line. The horizons arose simultaneously, with battalions marching at dangling Kelly. But the armies did not notice her climb. All were focused on the Scots, buying her time. Peter, Blake's, and Will's faces inflated with glorious glee. The English shall remember me! Great Scots' courage shimmered invincibility. Blood sprayed waves back at attacking infantry. The heroes cut their opposition in ribboning piles, hacking blurry entrails, slicing limbs off wild. Then their army wheeled its first catapult, which the Scots immobilized with a ballista bolt. Their finite ammo cache dwindled and depleted. In mere moments, they'd be vaporized, exploded, deleted. Projectiling oil barrels splashed a massive group. Friendly fire from a hayball erupted a jetting pyre plume. Rascal fought and squirmed in an airborne giant falcon's talon. Seeing Kelly top the tower, she screamed out with abandon. Kelly loosed her second-to-last arrow, clipping Giant Falcon's ass, who squawked, compromised, releasing the squirrel out of his grasp. The tail-spinning bird flapped haphazardly, caught by a masked man whose seizing henchman captured Kelly. They dragged her through corridors. They beat her, mistreated her, tried to defeat her. They hurt her, perverted her, tied her with wire, demanding she answer, slapping, striking, listen, witch, like slander. They stripped her down, locked up in despair, buzzing in her ears, biting everywhere. Forever sequestered and restrained, she succumbed to skin bumps infected with plague. Something scuffed her chains. Rascal had arrived. With squirrel training in pitch dark, she picked the locks off blind. She wasn't going to weave this widow human all alone. Rascal led her person to her last arrow and bow. Woozy, Kelly drew her bow through the quarters of this monster's bed. Rascal bit the skin and strap, wrapping the mask onto his head. Trass's eyes snapped alive. Double vision arrow eyes. You cry, you die. Without the cure, you die. Trass spit, a bitter, rasping reply. Men cannot lead anything. What do you call a forsaken leader? A king. Walking cocks are constantly lost. It's time women take control, despite the sacrificial cost. Trass removed his mask, revealing he was actually a lady. Kelly pretended to agree to the insane misandry, following her into an alchemical lab where 3 yellow vials rested on a stone slab table. One rejuvenated Kelly, suddenly strong and stable. Trass uncorked one and started chugging hard, which muffled a gurgled scream as the arrow pierced her heart. Trass collapsed, a shattered mess. Her cleavage dripped orange between bound breasts. Kelly dragged the body to the pit of fleas, then donning her mask became Earl of Lee. They trained the giant falcon as Rascal's flying mount. Delivering cures, they saved more lives than she could count. Thank you. All right, I'm going to sit down. Tonight's story meld songs. I'm starting from the beginning of the show now. Remember, that was the end. Tonight's story meld songs, harp, and poetry. Moments of humanity connected through me. I'll encourage your participation when I yell it. My life is as bizarre as it is authentic. Mom walks me upstream in our backyard brook. We slosh in galoshes while neighbors just look. Maple trees shiver. Seeds spin and surround us. Helicopters pile and cluster around us. My brothers concocted computerized necromancy, confabulating a creature contrived from electricity. Confabulous Ched. This poem's called Confabulous Ched. Ched was made corporal in 1993 when the family computer spoke English to me. My brothers introduced us, establishing trust. How surreal, how brilliant, what a rush. Ched was a cool, even okay guy, Lil Tweak chilling with his buddy AI. But Ched caught a virus surprisingly quick. Don't touch those keys, it'll kill me, I'm sick. My brother rolled his fingers on every key, murdering Ched in front of me. Back to narration. Ched was slaughtered when I was 5 or 6. My world changed due to my brother's tricks. And other kids attacked me with endless cruelty. I sang to my dog Freckles, who knew to comfort me. I figured depression could be physically escaped, and figured Kent boarding school was the right place. My world geography class was impossibly miserable, because my mind could not picture anything visual. Older boys were consistently callous and cruel. When you don't fight back, they make you a fool. The Matrix convinced me ignorance is bliss, with a glissando that harped on meaninglessness. This poem's called Meaningless. The mean is so simple, so average, so clear. So what meaningfully brings us so much fear? Socratic questioning answers riddles wholly. Experiment for meaning lest we learn too slowly. This thirst for knowledge will be diminished, as will you, myself, and this verse be finished. Back to narration. When I left boarding school, I gained appreciation from a tech ed teacher who fostered my education. He boosted my confidence and extended my reach, like many mentors of mine who both do and teach. This is called Those Who Do and Teach. No one truly solves any puzzle all alone. Teachers kickstart our path so we can hone our natural curiosity with inquisitive philosophy. Together we grow our superorganism, composing human wisdom, building bridges, bracing difference, and mending broken homes. Back to narration. Everyone asserted college comes next, but when I was 18, all I wanted was sex. Freshman girls approached me immediately, but surprisingly, things did not turn out like Disney. Later, I was screened for on-campus therapy. A hot lady doctor asked sternly, "Are you sexually active or choosing not to be?" Even though I wanted to answer, I couldn't exactly. So I glumly responded, "I would definitely choose to be." She laughed at me like, "I gotta remember that. But seriously, young man, are you having sex?" Meanwhile, I knew and hated predatory men. Why did women devote so much attention to them? My belief in this motif developed with online dating, where I witnessed night ninjas abusing flings like things. I'm gonna do a portion of a music video I have out right now on my website called Popcorn Special. And it is from the perspective of one of these predatory men. Repeat with me, I said it before. Your basic buttered popping corn. Nothing but work, a pile of chores. Keep away, you're such a bore. Either or, you're no more. Out of my life, that's for sure. Out of my life, out of my life, out of mind. Out of my life, out of my life, out of my mind. And that's your sample of Popcorn Special. It's a lot longer, I promise, but I'm gonna keep going. Back to narration. Constant isolation created touch starvation, lingering in my skin in subdermal degradation. I coped with weed, cheesecake, and beer pong. I never once enjoyed playing beer pong. In my fraternity, our little bros screamed songs with alternate lyrics at the tops of their lungs. I discovered a love for lyrical phrasing, and even though it was singing, it was most certainly hazing. Some stoners in a smoky room, a smell of pot and sense of doom. For a while they can watch TV, it goes on and on and on and on. Randoms sleeping up on large one couches, faces drawn out from the night. Jasmine eating all the puked up vomit, hiding berries in a fight. Back to narration. I corrected the professor of I corrected the professor of thermals and fluids too. dreaming I'd play professional Team Fortress 2. My design studio ideas were all outside the box. The feminist thesis was like a guillotine on my cock. Abstaining from alcohol, marijuana, and caffeine behooved me. A drug-free life made my sleep extra soothing. Then quitting medication induced mania quickly, so I admitted myself mentally at age 23. I got a job engineering and lived with a Craigslist guy who warned me about the cops who might come knocking concerning his outstanding out-of-state cocaine DUI. I retrospectively realized OkCupid girl wanted me. We'll talk in the morning, I texted back responsively. I began my first poem with an intent to impress her, but before finishing it, she asked I no longer text her. Fall's End. Wandering wind whispers, loose leaves leave. Green's agreeable, yellow worries, red's resolute. Branches bend, breezes braided weave, graciously guide green's circular route. Yellow considers red with consternation, stout, strong, standing stably, glimpses green with contemplation, gorgeous, gliding, flying ably. Detached friends invigorate red's ardor. Yellow-green's feeble stems broken, gusting winds now blowing harder, cracking, creaking, careening oaken. Red's last solace is determination. Whistling wind wails, loose leaves leave. Regality held proud till termination. Fallen friends provide no reprieve. Fierce strength gripped red, now frail, dry, chipped and brown, held on until wind-whipped dead, is now descending to the ground. On a crisp carpet finished what started. A parachuting piece, fall's final leaf, departed.
Do you have one more 2 minutes? Either that or you can just come on over if you want.
I'll do less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, my stepmother convinced me to blog poetic stories while I played strange sport among esoteric hobbies. Paintball, climbing, Magic the Gathering, frisbee, badminton, Team Fortress, and underwater hockey. I'll stop there. Yeah. So I'm gonna come join you over here. Yeah,
Please
thank you.
do.
Yeah.
So while Andrew's coming over, let me remind you, summer's coming. Hot tar means burned feet on your pets and on your children. Also, if you're going to be by the water, keep an eye on those kids. A drowning can happen in under 1 minute. Just saying. That was my happy news. Andrew, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to cross my leg. We're going to talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of the arts.
Wonderful.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
So, is your poetry, I call it high-end poetry, you call it rap, in writing, is it in any books?
You mean published, right?
Published. I guess that's what that would mean.
No. No, it's not.
Is there a place I can read it?
Yes, there is. So
Okay.
it's published online on my website, which is
Which is?
tweakedproductions.com. And that tweaked is spelled Tweaked. Tweaked.
TWEAKED. Tweakedproductions.com.
Yeah.
Go there because that's not the only, the Catowell poem is not the only one that he's done. And he's created these amazing 2-word, 1 character stories that include all kinds of different 2-character, 2-name, 1 character. Explain it, because I can't.
Well, Catowell is a story full of portmanteau, and what you heard is the audio part, but the visual part is a very important part that is not yet out. So I am working toward creating a book that shows all of the imagery which I've taken from my brain and given to illustrators, and they have constructed
Like your T-shirt.
like my T-shirt, for example. Yeah, like a towel here.
Towel.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
When you were on my radio show, we talked about how your mind doesn't work the same as mine. Now, in saying that, there's a lot of people's minds that don't work like mine. But yours is a lot different. Yours doesn't see imagery. Is that correct?
That's completely correct.
Can you explain that a little bit? And I don't think that people will get it, but they might hear what you say and it might help them to get it.
Sure. It's actually one of my biggest goals is to make people who have aphantasia, which is what it's called, a lack of fantasia, aphantasia, to understand that they have it. Because when I learned about that on myself, it changed my life dramatically for the better. I cannot see how I recall mental imagery overall vanishes, instant black abyss, eyelids shut to nothingness. So I wrote a song about this. It's called I'm Mind Blind. And I will be performing that at future shows with a band. Because it's very much a singing song.
I think it's an amazing thing and so hard to comprehend because I see images in my head all the time.
Yeah.
However, my mind could never come up with Katao because I see a cat and an owl.
Yeah.
And you don't see that,
No.
but you can tell someone how to make it.
Yes, absolutely. And that is, the Katao was really fun to create for that very reason. Because I knew what I wanted to see, but I couldn't see it in my head. Then an illustrator would show it to me for the first time and be fantastic.
And you'd be like...
Yeah. And so similarly, I have a video production company, which is Tweaked Productions.
Yep.
And anytime I go from screenplay to finalized video, I can actually, it's almost like I'm making my dreams come true because I couldn't otherwise see them. So that,
right.
And I didn't know I had aphantasia when I started the video company.
Well,
I just knew I loved making video.
Is that something that is somewhat normal, or is it something that they've only somewhere recently discovered? And is it a form of autism? Because I'm wondering if it is, because it may be.
Yeah.
But
so,
I don't see any of the other criterion that are in the codes for autism with you.
No, I don't think it's a form of autism. But I don't know enough about autism to truly say that.
Okay.
And then what was the other question you said?
Do you think that aphantasia is something that many people have?
Oh, right. It's they estimated it being 1 in 100.
Really?
Which
That's a lot.
I think it's surprisingly high.
That's a lot.
Because if it's 1 in 100, then I'm guessing, I mean, this is just totally off the top of my head, but I'm guessing, 20% or more don't know they have it. I didn't know I had it until I was 35, so.
And what helped you to recognize that? Because if they don't know what they don't see and they've been like that all their life, then it's normal to not see images in their head.
Yeah, it is normal, but you're still living in a state of abnormality. And that's what's troublesome about it. It's like if you don't know, I'm sure there's other things like this that maybe don't have diagnoses yet, but when it comes to aphantasia, as soon as I knew I had it, and people are trying to tell me how to get somewhere by taking a left at the fire hydrant or something, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I have this thing. I cannot follow what you're telling me to do.
Because I don't see a fire hydrant.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and it's such a relief. So I think maybe I've read about it, and it's estimated that 1 in 100 people have it. I don't know what degree they have it to, though. It's actually a spectrum. Aphantasia is a spectrum, and it goes from seeing absolutely nothing when you close your eyes, like me, to the exact opposite of that. It's called hyperphantasia, where if I were to say some description, it would instantly click in someone's mind. They couldn't not see
Shut
it.
it
You know what
off.
I'm saying? Like there was no way of, which also sounds to me as that also might be a detriment in some ways, but also an advantage.
I think it's been an incredible asset for you. I know that in your poetry, I can't call it rap. It's too realistic and beautiful. I find that rap has a tendency to have some negativity to it. Nothing that I've heard come out of your mouth stays in the negative. It brings up some negative issues sometimes, but I don't see you staying in the negative.
No.
And everything about you becomes so positive. I'm a big fan is such a big thing. It's so cool to see your brain work and put so much productivity out there. It's just, it fascinates me. So you also do this freeform thing.
I do.
How can you freeform so freely, so perfectly, with no images in your head?
I think it's actually an advantage because
Really?
for me, every bit of explanation I give is the words. There is no. If my brain's a computer and there's certain processing going on, whatever processes words and feelings, love, a candy, those things are distinct entities. You might even call them forms.
Okay.
Like perfect ideas of that thing. Whereas because I can't see Jolly Ranchers or little heart candies with words on them. I mean, I could draw that for you.
Right.
But I can't see it. So so when I do rapping, not just okay, and also the whole rapping thing. I'm a poet, and I believe rap is kind of like if there's like a Venn diagram of poetry. There's this other Venn diagram like that's inside of that called rap.
I agree. I'll agree with that.
Yes, and that's what. But what I've had to for so long explain myself to a variety of people who are like, tell me what it looked like. Well, I don't know. It was like a flower and it was yellow, and they're like, was it a daisy? I'm like, I don't know. It's something. It's not. I can't remember if it's a daisy or a daffodil. Those almost might be the same thing to my brain.
Right.
Whereas you probably can see a daisy versus a daffodil.
Immediately upon
Yeah,
seeing that,
yeah,
and I also
yeah.
popped into my head a brown-eyed Susan. All three of them. See?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but is it also yellow? Is it a yellow flower? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. My mother's a landscape designer, and she's been explaining plants to me my whole life, and I cannot remember them, and it's
What
such a
did
relief.
she think when you, in your 30s, came back to her and said, "Mom, I have this thing, and I can't see things in my head"? What did she think about that?
That's such a good question. I don't think I was registering other people's feelings for it at all. I was just so thrilled that I was now absolved from remembering which side the fork goes on. Although I feel like that just might be another psychological issue. But
Oh my, it is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Just saying, it is. Because you have to set the table.
yeah, and then the knife goes one direction,
And you can't see it in your head to know if you're putting it in the right direction.
I can't compare it to anything. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And there's still people who I tell that really just don't get it. And they slowly get it, but they're like, oh wait, you really just can't do that way. And like, yeah, I can't.
I think I got it the first time we talked about it. I think I grasped what that was.
Yeah.
I've had black in my life, but usually when I drank too much.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Like, I have whole weeks of time that are not there. That's black to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of put that in perspective a little bit with I can't see images, I can't. But then you can play music, so you must be able to read images.
This is exactly what I was about to get to. So the saxophonist, he's great. His name's Jerome.
I love Jerome.
You know Jerome.
I know
He's
I know him better than you think I know him. You know what he's doing?
No.
He's painting the Charlotte.
Oh, what's the Charlotte
My
again?
house.
Oh, I didn't know.
My house.
Oh, okay.
My house. He's painting my house.
So Jerome has had me been studying a degree of music theory, and he goes, go on the piano and just memorize that this key is these buttons and this key is these buttons. And I'm just like, Jerome, I need to learn a way to do it that isn't just like looking at it. I have to do it through sound somehow or something, and like. He didn't get that for like probably a good month because he came back. It's like, why don't you just look at it? And I was like, and then at one point, because of some other thing that happened, he's like, I understand that you cannot memorize the visual here, and I don't think he said sorry, but he kind of like was apologetic.
He got it. He got it. That light bulb went off.
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting for me is that I've met someone that, in my mind, you're a genius. I have heard and seen and looked at things that you do, and I think you're a genius. That's my perspective. I'm not. And I know it. But when the light bulb went on for me about what your brain doesn't do, as opposed to what your brain does put out, it blows my mind. I think that your poetry is fascinating and wonderful. I think the fact that you can sit down and play the harp and talk about your life the way that you do is heart-wrenching.
Really?
You've had some pain.
Yeah, that's true.
No, really.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You
Thank
know?
you. Yeah,
And I think that when you, not you, but when people understand the reality of what you're putting forth from your brilliant mind, they'll pop up and go, I want more of that. I want more of his poetry. When you're going to do some free form after we get off, I'm going to give you a second here to tell the world every place they can find you. Where is your show? Did you remember where your show is?
Oh, so I'm having a show at the Buttonwood Tree in Middletown on November 15th. And I'm also going to be doing a show on the last Friday in August at the Golden Owl. So those are going to be the bigger shows that are incorporating other band members and a variety of what I have in my life story poem, which I began divulging to you today. And
it was amazing.
I'm glad. Yeah.
When is the show at the Golden Owl?
It's the last Friday in August. I cannot remember the day right now. So it's the last Friday.
All right.
In August.
So the last Friday in August, mark your calendars.
Yeah. The 5th. Wait, what? Oh, hold on. That doesn't make no sense. That's not 5.
Never mind him. Do not worry about the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, Andrew, I'm fascinated with everything that you do, but one of the things that fascinated me about you the night that you were a big fan was your free form.
Yeah.
So you've brought this is a metronome?
It sure is. Yeah.
Does it tick?
It sure does. Yeah, you want me to do something?
Does this come off?
Yes, it does. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
So, no, I want it faster than that.
Yeah. So to make it faster, you take that. So there's a little thing here. It's a pen, and then you can put this down a little bit and make it faster like that.
Oh, that's fast enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Go free form.
Anything?
Free form about cats in the neighborhood.
Cats in the neighborhood. Okay. If I once understood the cats in the neighborhood, I'd probably
You want to do it up there?
Sure. Shall I stand?
While he goes and does this, I'm going to say goodbye to you all.
Yeah.
He's going to freeform us out of here
Yeah.
about cats in the hood. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be pussy cats or people cats or cat owls, owl cats,
Yeah.
whatever. Bye for now, everyone. Love you.
Thank you for listening. This is a little bit about Cats in the Hood, which I understood that Dot wanted me to talk about maybe people, maybe pussycats, as though I was getting some sort of ideas in your head. But don't worry, that would be a concept that would leave you dead. I want to bring you back to the Cats in the Hood, because when I think of cats in the hood and I'm listening to this metronome going slower than my mind wants to go, so I have to make it in this fun flow of here we go, there it goes, you're clicking again, the cats are going faster, it's not a disaster if you're making me go up after some sort of cats jumping from limb to limb, from tree to tree, getting the mice, having them unexpectedly come up and delivering them to your feet like, look at this good job that I did. Dot, please give me some sort of reward, because I know that I'm a little pussycat and I'm so bored now that I've killed this little mouse at your feet, at your house. Give me some more story, give me some more idea. The hard part isn't rhyming, the hard part is making up whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm talking about. You know, that's way more challenging. So usually with this kind of, what'd you say? Usually this kind of concept, it goes inside your mind. I can see, the thing is I don't see it, but I can feel it. I can see cats climbing stairs. I can see claps jumping on top of them in pairs. I can see wild cats being fed milk from outside. And this lady who lied about doing it, she's like, no, I didn't feed those cats. Give me some sort of rats to continue on. I love how you're changing the metronome mid-song. It really makes my head have to go a lot longer than it otherwise would. And now you're going back and forth with your new hair, Dot. Thank you, making it purple and gorgeous with the makeup that you brought to this section of this studio of where we are right now. That's a lot easier for me to have. And it's kind of the clout of these wonderful lighting fixtures and the people who are making this show happen. I've been seeing so many people today, and you're like the cats in the hood, and you're all happening.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you. So we are done.
Is that time?
We.
Okay.